Welcome, everybody, to another March Madness special on the Gruely True Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to look at the matchup between Gonzaga and Purdue. Gonzaga getting 5.5 points. Gonzaga, everybody's excited about what they did last weekend. I'm not so much. I mean, beating Kansas without, Kevin McClure, their best player, it's a great win, and markfew's done a great job with this team. The Purdue Boilermakers, on the other hand, ran through the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament with ease against Grambling, and then in the second round against a good Utah State team. The narrative here is that Purdue always chokes when it's March. And yes, the last time they went to the Final Four was 1980, led by Joe Barry Carroll, where they fell short in Indianapolis in the semifinals. Markfew has done his best coaching job since he's taken over the Zags program, especially since they went from a bubble team to a top 5 seed in just about 6 weeks. Many are picking the Zags to move past the Boilermakers, but there are several reasons why that is not going to happen. First, the Bulldogs can't play better offensively than they have played in the first two rounds. In their latest beatdown of the Kansas Jayhawks, the Zags shot over 55% for the game, including 8 for 15 from three-point range. Besides the looming offensive regression that I think is going to come tonight, the Bulldogs have a thin team. They're not very deep. If the Zags get into foul trouble, especially Graham Ike, they're in a ton of trouble. Nobody can stop Zach Edey inside. So, ticky-tack fouls are called. Everybody complains. Zach Edey gets whatever Zach Edey wants. The referees, protect him. It's not the case. Hell, we watched a Grambling game where guys are scratching, leaving marks on him, not getting fouls called. And Zach Edey just continues to roll along. He's the best player in college basketball. When he scores 24 and gets 13 rebounds, you don't even bat an eye because you expect it to happen. Now, these two teams did meet back in November in Maui, and they both struggled from three-point land. Purdue won by 10, but the game was closely contested until late in the second half. Despite their elite interior defense, Edey is an outlier to the opponents the Bulldogs have faced all season. Gonzaga also doesn't force turnovers, so I have a hard time envisioning the Zags coming up with enough stops to contain the Boilermakers. When we look at Purdue, like the Bulldogs, the Boilers have been terrific in the NCAA tournament. Their offense is scorching hot from deep, ranking second nationally in three-point shooting over the last 2 months. Friday is a great spot for Purdue. Gonzaga lacks depth, which will hurt them. Ike is a terrific defender inside, but I envision this matchup going similar to the one back in November. He got in some early foul trouble. And with him on the bench, Purdue dominated the interior. Purdue's offense is excellent, entering this matchup third nationally in adjusted offensive efficiency. But the key to this game is defense. The Boilers rank 15th nationally in adjusted defensive efficiency and have the chops to slow down the red-hot Zags. They're a terrific transition defensive team, which is where the Bulldogs live. So their strength on offense for Gonzaga is the strength on defense for Purdue. Purdue is also outstanding at preventing trips to the foul line, as they rank 10th nationally in free throw attempts allowed per game. There isn't value backing the Boilers, as a straight-up number. But at 5.5, I think there is. I think Purdue will slowly wear down Gonzaga and take this game. And I would say another number that I would like here betting is the over-under for Gonzaga by itself. Their team over-under is 74.5. I don't think they get to 75 points. Now, I do trust this full game where a lot don't, because I think the other big difference is I look for Purdue to be a very dominant offensive team tonight. I think they're going to shoot the ball from three well, and if they do, this game could actually be over early even. I think, like I said, when you look at Gonzaga's competition in the first two rounds, McNeese State, I think it was, right? McNeese. And then the game against Kansas, Kansas shouldn't even have been there. Samford beat Kansas. You had a horrible call that changed that game at the end of the game, or Samford could have been playing them. But when I look at this, to me, the Purdue Boilermakers are the best team between these two teams, and the Purdue Boilermakers are one of the two best teams with UConn in the country. So I'm going to comfortably take Purdue tonight, -5.5. I look for a Purdue win somewhere between 10 to 15 points, and that's my best bet for this game. All right, guys, remember, BetMGM is your top sports book for betting on college basketball. Make sure you click on the link in the description down below in the YouTube video. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know whenever the Grueling Truth goes live. Check out the earlier pregame or preview I did for the Duke-Houston game tonight. Check out our entire March Madness special Sweet 16 show. Last night, we were 3-1. We only missed one game, and we gave you 2 upsets. And also, remember this, Oakland, Kentucky, the only main sports site you'll find that picked Oakland versus Kentucky correctly is the Grueling Truth Sports Network. All right, guys, for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to the Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.